Social media is radically changing the way that the public and political figures share, consume, and interact with information, which is changing the political landscape. Its impact can be seen in a number of ways, such as how it promotes false information, helps political discourse, and organizes social movements. In this video, we will explore how social media is shaping our political future. Number 7. Direct communication. Politicians can now interact with their constituents in previously unheard of ways thanks to social media, which has completely changed the landscape of political communication. Before the story is shared with the public, traditional media frequently serves as a filter, molding it. Politicians can, however, speak with each other directly through social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where they can share their policies, messages, and personal narratives in real time. Because of the more intimate interactions that can occur between constituents and leaders, this immediacy promotes a feeling of connection and accessibility. Unlike traditional media outlets, politicians can react quickly to current events, address concerns, and even clear up misunderstandings. For example, within minutes of a breaking news story, a politician may tweet their response, influencing the public conversation as it happens. But there are risks associated with this direct communication, such as the possibility of misunderstandings or conflicting remarks going viral and prompting an immediate backlash from the public. Politicians must navigate the complexities of public opinion in real time in this high-stakes environment, frequently prioritizing quick responses over deliberate debate. Number 6. Enhanced political engagement. Social media platforms have become effective tools for increasing citizen political engagement and changing the way people engage with political processes. These platforms democratize political participation by giving users the forum to express their ideas, participate in dialogues, and organize around causes that are important to them. Social media's viral nature allows political messages to spread quickly, reaching a large audience and promoting grassroots activism. For instance, hashtag can be used by campaigns to build a sense of community among supporters and mobilize support for particular causes. Social media also makes it possible to plan events like town hall meetings and protests, which encourages people to get involved in their community. Social media can boost political participation, but there are questions about the breadth and caliber of that involvement as well. The effectiveness of civic engagement may be diminished if people participate merely superficially, expressing opinions without fully comprehending the issues at hand. This emphasizes how important it is to support programs that encourage meaningful and informed engagement in politics. Number 5. Rise of grassroots movements. It is impossible to overestimate the influence of social media on the emergence of grassroots movements. These platforms give people the ability to organize and promote social change on their own terms, independent of the sometimes cumbersome and sluggish traditional institutional frameworks. Social media gives activists the ability to plan events, exchange information, and spread their messages to a large audience worldwide. For example, social media was essential in coordinating protests and spreading information about government actions during the Arab Spring, which resulted in major political upheaval in a number of nations. Comparably, the Black Lives Matter movement has organized protests and promoted conversation about systemic issues by successfully using social media to raise awareness about racial injustice and police brutality. These movements have become more relatable and captivating to a wider audience as a result of the social media platform that allows people to share their personal narratives and experiences. Social media can help underrepresented voices be heard, but it can also cause movements to become more fragmented. Diverse viewpoints and tactics could surface, making it more difficult to accomplish shared objectives and possibly lessening the movement's overall impact. This emphasizes how crucial it is to encourage unity and support among activists in order to keep the momentum going and bring about significant change. Number 4. Misinformation and propaganda. Social media platforms present substantial challenges due to the rapid dissemination of information, especially with regard to the propagation of misinformation and propaganda. False information spreads quickly, frequently surpassing the pace of fact-checking initiatives and leaving the public deeply confused. This phenomenon has been especially noticeable during election cycles when voters' perceptions can be shaped and results influenced by false narratives. For instance, a lot of false information spread on social media during the 2016 US presidential election, influencing voter behavior and public opinion. Social media algorithms prioritize interaction over content, frequently endorsing dramatic or emotionally charged material that can worsen the spread of false information. Users may find it difficult to distinguish reliable information from untrustworthy sources in this setting. Fighting misinformation while upholding freedom of speech is a difficult task. Attempts to control content must be weighed against the requirement to safeguard democratic dialogue. Governments, civil society organizations, and social media companies need to work together to create strategies that effectively identify and lessen the impact of false information while fostering accountability and transparency in order to address this issue. A more informed public can be fostered through programs like public awareness campaigns and partnerships for fact-checking. Number 3. Polarization and echo chambers. Users are primarily exposed to opinions that support their own in echo chambers that are frequently created by social media platforms. Political polarization may rise as a result of this phenomenon as people grow more obstinate in their beliefs and less receptive to differing viewpoints. In an attempt to maximize user engagement, algorithms frequently favor content that supports pre-existing beliefs, which reinforces prejudices and limits exposure to opposing viewpoints. Users who regularly interact with liberal content, for example, may notice that their feeds are overflowing with similar opinions to those of conservative users. This may obstruct productive discussion and compromise, both of which are necessary for a robust democracy. It is consequently challenging for people to have meaningful conversations across partisan divides in a fragmented public sphere where political discourse is becoming more antagonistic. In addition, people may become less trusting of democratic institutions as a result of this polarization because they see opposing parties or points of view as threats rather than valid points of view. It will take deliberate efforts to address this challenge by encouraging users to seek out different viewpoints and cross-partisan dialogue, creating a more inclusive political atmosphere that prioritizes constructive engagement over divisive rhetoric. Number 2. Data-driven campaigning. The emergence of social media has caused political campaigning to become an extremely data-driven industry. In order to target particular demographics with customized messages and increase the efficacy of their outreach efforts, campaigns today employ sophisticated analytics. Campaigns can potentially increase voter engagement and mobilization by addressing the particular issues and preferences of different voter segments through the use of micro-targeting. For instance, political advertisements can be tailored to the online habits, passions, and demographic data of users, enabling campaigns to create messages that effectively connect with target audiences. Since campaigns can directly address the issues that are important to various groups, they can result in higher engagement rates and more successful mobilization efforts. But this approach calls into question the morality of voter manipulation and privacy. Many people might not be aware that their personal information is being collected and used to sway people's political opinions. Furthermore, the possibility of false information spreading and the opaque use of data can erode public confidence in the political system. Establishing precise ethical guidelines for digital campaigning is essential to allaying these worries, since it will guarantee that campaigns function honestly, openly, and in a way that respects people's right to privacy. Furthermore, voter education regarding data privacy and the effects of targeted advertising can enable voters to make knowledgeable choices about their political participation. Number 1. Need for media literacy. The proliferation of misinformation on social media has made media literacy more important than ever. Fostering an informed electorate requires teaching users how to assess information critically, identify bias, and participate in political discourse in an appropriate manner. Initiatives aimed at promoting media literacy can enable people to distinguish between reliable and unreliable sources, thereby preventing the dissemination of incorrect information and fostering a more sophisticated comprehension of intricate political matters. Programs to improve media literacy can be put into place in community centers, schools, and online. They offer information and instruction to give people the tools they need to understand the digital information environment. For instance, people can learn how to fact-check information, spot false information, and have productive conversations with people who disagree with them through workshops and online courses. We can increase democratic engagement and make sure that social media is a tool for informed political participation rather than a source of misinformation and division by promoting critical thinking and encouraging users to challenge the information they come across. The development of politically aware and involved citizens who can successfully navigate the challenges of the contemporary information age will ultimately depend on investments in media literacy. These points offer a thorough understanding of how social media is influencing politics going forward, stressing both the problems and the opportunities it presents. If you like our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel.